Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for watching another episode of Interviews with Entrepreneurs in South Africa. Today, I'm very excited to introduce you to Conny, the cosmetics chef. Conny, will you tell us a little bit more about your business and how you started it?
Thank you, Melanie. And hello, everybody. It's so awesome being here. What an honor. Thank you so much, Melanie. I love this. So the cosmetic chef has been a little passion of mine. I am a qualified cosmetic chemist. I have been in the cosmetic industry specializing in research and development for over 22 years. Kind of keeps adding up the years, but it's been over 2 decades. And really, the cosmetic chef came out of my passion for the industry and for creating products. I wanted to make a business or create something where I can show people how they can make their own amazing products at home. It really is just a simple case of, as long as you have the recipe, you can make anything. So I decided I wanted to share those recipes and show people how easy it is to make your own amazing, high quality beauty products at home. Because unfortunately, yes, we know the industry tends to rip us off a bit. Imported products are hugely expensive. So the easiest way to get good quality products, make them yourself. So once you have the ingredients and the recipes, you're good to go. So that's basically the very basic idea of what the business is. And it all started with my recipe book that I published in November 2017. And it's got 50 recipes in it, ranging from various skincare, hair care products. There's even a dog shampoo in there and a shower cleaner. So all these easy products that you can make from home. And it also delves into a bit of the science of cosmetics, because I'm super passionate about us making safe products that are good for us, that work for us, but are also going to be amazing. So taking the science knowledge and combining it with the ease of use and making sure we make great products with proper knowledge and not just weird, funny, random things that we pick up on the internet these days.
That's so interesting. I love that you're teaching people how to make their own products so that they're no longer just reliant on brands. That's an awesome idea. And talking about that, when I was a teenager, I remember there were always these fad things, put honey on your face and lemon juice on your hair and all those weird fads. So, is there misinformation out there that misleads people?
Oh, that's a whole can of worms. That there is so much misinformation out there. I have this saying where I'm like, if I Google that I have a headache, I'm either dead or pregnant. Because unfortunately, Google is, I mean, it is my best friend. I love Google. But the amount of misinformation is incredible. And unfortunately, when it comes to something like cosmetics, there's a lot of science behind cosmetics. And of course, science is the stuff that overwhelms a lot of people. It scares a lot of people. It's long technical names that people are like, oh my word, I don't understand this. So the science information is usually on page 4, 5, 6 of Google. So nobody gets there. It's all the crazy stories, the fake news, the false information, the hype and the media scares that land up on the first couple of pages. People don't go beyond page 2 or 3 of Google unless you're a proper researcher. But the majority of people, page 1 or 2, hide a dead body on page 3. Nobody knows. Nobody goes there. So, so unfortunately, there's a lot of misinformation out there. And that was part of my burning desire to get the cosmetic chef going, is to give people the right information and no longer rely on these marketing scares and people bashing other ingredients or products, because there's so many scare stories out there. But that's what grabs our attention. And unfortunately, it's that headline grabbing stuff. Oh, don't use this shampoo. It's going to cause cancer. No, it's not. There's no ingredients in cosmetics that are toxic, that are unsafe. Synthetic ingredients are not bad. They're just man-made. In some cases, they're better. There's so many examples of crazy, scary stories out there. So I write quite a couple of blogs about them, really wanting to get that right information out there. And I'll try and make it as simple to read and understand without getting too scientific, because even I read science journals and I'm like, those words are too big. I just can't handle that amount of information. So I try and make sure that the information gets across in a super easy way to understand and in a logical way that makes sense to us in our daily lives, not these like big, crazy stories or anything. So yeah, loads of misinformation out there, even with DIY recipes. One of my favorites, when I started this DIY journey, it was pretty crazy because I had been in a lab environment my whole career. And I honestly thought, well, that's it. You have to be in a lab environment. And it was a friend of mine that sparked the idea where she asked me, can you make products in your kitchen? And I'm like, never. You need a fancy lab. You need the fancy equipment. But then she really sparked this idea. And I thought, but wait a second. What if you could? So I started researching this DIY beauty trend. And oh my word, I was blown away with this whole industry that's out there that I wasn't even aware of, despite being in the industry, because of course we're very focused on the right and analytical things. But some of the stuff that I came across in the DIY blogs horrified me because it was that lack of understanding of science. So this misconception of like, if it's natural, it's good, so you can do whatever with it. That's not necessarily the case. And I use the example, maybe a bit extreme, but I think it gets the message across that when you use, I mean, anthrax is natural, mercury is natural, cyanide is natural. All of those are totally natural. And most of the things that most people are most allergic to are natural proteins. Think of gluten intolerance, lactose intolerance, it's all natural. So we need to let go of this extreme thinking of where we have like all natural is good, because like just putting something on your skin without understanding a little bit more about how your skin's going to react, or what the pH of it is, or how it's going to react with the chemistry of your skin and stuff, can actually cause a lot of damage. Just like an example of that, one of the things that I came across, so baking soda, sodium bicarb, is something most of us have at home. We use it to make our fridges smell great or whatever. But it's actually an amazing product to use in beauty as well, because it gives great exfoliation, and I do love it. But this particular blog that I'd read spoke about using sodium bicarb as a natural dry shampoo. And it went on to say that it cleanses the scalp, it works really great, you don't need to use normal shampoos. And it then went on to say, if your scalp starts itching, don't worry, it's just your scalp detoxing.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, no, wait a minute. When you look at the chemistry of it, I mean, I don't want to get too technical, but like sodium bicarb has a very high pH. Our scalp and our hair has a very low pH. If you put anything on your skin that has the wrong pH, that's too high or too low, it's going to irritate and damage the skin. When we like damage our skin, that's when it like an irritation is the first warning sign of our skin saying, yo, no, I don't like this. So a lot of these DIY beauty blogs that are set up by people that maybe don't understand the science, haven't learned it, haven't looked into it, they often give this information like, oh, don't worry if your skin gets irritated, it's just detoxing and it will adjust. Like, no, it may adjust, but it's going to adjust damage. Then it forms a barrier against it, which means you've damaged your skin. That's where scarring happens. And it's just things like that that I got a little bit scared of. And I thought, oh, no, the best way to then fix that is to make sure that you get the right information out there and let people know what's important, what isn't, and let us understand where we, there's so much we can do at home, but there does need to be a little bit of guidance to make sure we do the right thing. You use the example of honey. Honey is an amazing ingredient. You can't go wrong with that. So that's definitely something you could use. But even like something like lemon juice or like apple cider vinegar, beautiful ingredient. You cannot use that straight on your skin because it will damage it. There it's too low pH again. So it's good to have a little bit of understanding about what your skin does before you just start putting any old thing on there. So yeah, that's why I create the recipes, to really be focused on, you don't even need to think about that. I'll do that kind of thinking for you. And I'll make sure that the recipes I create are safe for you to use, are properly pH balanced, and will not cause any irritations.
Okay, so you recommend to anybody who's making their own DIY beauty products at home that they should have a high level of self-awareness when they apply these products, and if there is any kind of a reaction, to stop applying whatever they are.
I think, yeah, that's a very good point. So not necessarily like a high level of self-awareness, but just be aware. Like I think it goes back to pretty much any of these things these days. We ignore our own gut instinct so often. We keep being told by life coaches, all of these different things, like, don't ignore your gut instinct. Don't ignore the signals your bodies are sending. Even with dietitians, all of these things, we ignore the thirst signal and we feed ourselves instead. We've become very good at ignoring the signals our body sends us. So I think just generally in life, whatever it is you're doing, to be aware of the signals your body sends you. That, like, often the thing, if you have a headache, don't just grab the headache tablet. Maybe you're dehydrated. So it's in that same principle when you're applying these DIY things. If there is any skin upset, there's something wrong. Something is not good. There are particular cases where maybe a little bit of tingling might be the expected outcome. Let's say even if you're doing like one of those AHA or enzymatic kind of masks, where you're trying to stimulate the skin a little bit, then it's kind of okay. You expect that. But then, I mean, if I'm doing a recipe like that, I will definitely put there, you will experience a little bit of tingling. That is a normal thing. It's within a controlled environment. But generally, if you're just putting any old thing And even if it's a product that you buy off the shelf, that you have used for years, and you suddenly use it and you get any kind of irritation, you'll notice on all the packs, they always say discontinue use immediately. There is none of the skin adjusting stuff. It really, your skin is then sending out warning signals to say, please, this is not, I'm not happy here. And we forget our skin is a reflection of everything going on inside us, everything going on outside of us. So our skin is the most amazing organ at protecting everything inside, but it's the first organ that will also show signs of ill health. I mean, we can see somebody looks ill before they've even said anything because their skin shows it, or their hair. So in that way, our skin is great at protecting us. But anything like stress, and I've seen it very much now with the whole pandemic going on, with people's skins are breaking out like crazy suddenly because it's all the stress, and stress causes the skin to break out because of all of the hormonal changes that happen in our body due to stress. Eating different products, intolerances or allergies that you may not be aware of can actually be reflected in the skin. So even if you've used a product for decades and now you're suddenly reacting, it could just be your skin has changed. As we age, we need different products. Seasons, we need different products. So don't be scared to switch products because it's not your skin's fault. It's not the brand's fault. It's a time for a different thing. So if something doesn't work, I mean, you can put it aside. You don't need to throw the jar away. You've spent money on it. But if it's like, for instance, suddenly now that it's reacting, your skin may be drier because it's winter and it is drier and you're sitting with heaters on. So maybe just put it aside, try it again in summer. You might be able to finish it then. So don't be afraid to try different products, whether it's in the DIY space or when you're buying actual products itself on the shelf.
Okay, that's really useful information. Thank you so much. Now, Connie, this is a conversation around entrepreneurship, and it sounds very much like you're giving away like free information. So what is the business case for what you do? How do you make your money? What your actual products look like?
Okay, so my business, it's definitely centered around sharing a lot of information. So like in the book, for instance, well, there it's a case the book was a product. So you would actually purchase the book, and through book sales, obviously that's part of the business model. But I've also created other products. So in the case of DIY products are fantastic, but you're very limited with ingredients. So my connections with the cosmetic industry allowed me to have access to a lot of highly specialized ingredients that normally you can only get if you're in the industry.
Okay.
So I've created other little kits that you can use. And there's some of the recipes in the book that even use some of these, like a specialized emulsifier or a preservative or things like that, that will make the product just that much better and more like salon quality. So I have these kits where I sell the ingredients that you can use. I also created other kits that are, I call them the ready to go kits, where they're more premium. So this is like the book gives you really great basic products. But then I decided to sort of like take it up a level and give you premium products like in the range of your Estee Lauders, Clarins, with real actives. And once again, these are your industry-based ones. So there I've actually formulated products that I've put there, and you get all the ingredients and the recipe in the kit so that you can make it up yourself. So it's kind of like a cake mix in a box,
Oh,
but it's
lovely.
your day cream in a box. So you can
Okay.
buy that and make it up for yourself when you need it. So I've got various kits like that. So as much as I'm giving a lot of information and people can take that and build on it, but also I'm giving you the back end supply of it, of the ingredients, the kits and everything. Plus I do workshops, and those are my favorites. I love doing workshops. I've recently started doing them online, which is teaching people either whether they want to start their own business through it. Like one of my workshops at the moment talks about starting your own beauty business. So I'm trying to really empower and encourage as many people to grow and follow their passions and dreams as possible, but also enabling them to do that by giving them these kind of ready-made kits to go with it. So taking a little bit about the headache. So it's like expanded along those lines with building a business by helping other people in that way.
That's such a beautiful story. I love that you've brought it back down to the building blocks and the bricks instead of just going straight out there and launching with another brand of beauty products that's just the same as the other brand of beauty products. So, and I
Exactly. I mean,
also, I quite like the idea of being able to kind of make my own cosmetics, and I can then mix and match some ingredients, figure out which ones work better for me. And do your customers play around with their recipes like that? Find what works for
oh,
them?
yeah. Absolutely. So that is part of the beauty that I love when people make their own things. It's like some people hate olive oil, or it has a funny smell. So then in that case, you can substitute it with sunflower oil. Or like if you want to create your own little signature blend. So I encourage use of like using essential oils, and maybe your favorite product that you love that's on the shelf, oh, the smell is terrible, you don't like it. You get to change and put your own oils in. And also you can change it up. So this month you feel like you're using rose oil, and then next month you're like, you know what, actually I want to go with lavender this month. And you can play around and make it your own, changing the oils. So even like in the recipe book, or even with the workshops, I always encourage people, and I tell them what you can substitute with. If you don't like coconut oil, then you can use any other natural oil. So it is so much fun for people to play and make it their own in that way, and also understanding what works best for their skin.
And what is the name of your book, if people are looking for it?
So it's called The Cosmetics Chef, crafting cosmetics in your kitchen. So there's just like a visual.
Oh, that's lovely. And is it available in South African bookstores?
Not in bookstores. It is available on my website, on thecosmeticschef.com.
Okay. So, and not on Amazon or anywhere like that. We've got to buy it straight from you.
You can get it. There is a Kindle version available on Amazon.
Oh,
so you
awesome.
can get it. So there is a Kindle version, but then the hardcover version would be directly from me.
Okay. I'm sure people like to have a book that they can put in their kitchen and refer back to every time they want to mix something up.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, okay, I might be bragging a little bit, but I do love my book. But I mean, it's got a little bit about the science in the beginning. But I mean, like you can see, it's got like, okay, that's the science, but like it's really got like the amazing pictures, the recipes, and it gives you all the information. So it's really nice to have as a hardcover, because I mean, it's really thick pages, so you can keep it for years and keep opening it and keep checking products in it.
Did you ever think you'd become a published author when you were a kid?
No, I thought I was going to be a professional dancer. Slight detour, but it's good. I'm happy. I'm loving it.
I find it interesting how many entrepreneurs end up not where they expected.
No, definitely not. I mean, when I first finished school, what I really wanted to do was study pharmacology. At the time, there was a movie that had come out, Lorenzo's Oil, and it was about finding cures for diseases. And I was like, that's what I wanted to do. Unfortunately, the situation we were in with my family, there was no money to do any kind of studying after school. So I needed to start working straight away. And I mean, the whole, like, shortening the story, but I literally stumbled into the cosmetic industry through flipping through the yellow pages, the good old fashioned yellow pages. I wanted to do some kind of chemistry bursary. I loved the chemistry side, and that I'd always had a passion for. And I found a company that they manufactured cosmetic products. They invited me to spend the day with them when I finished my matric finals. Spent the day with them. They introduced me to cosmetic science, doing a diploma course in cosmetic science, and working in the industry, actually making cosmetics. And that was like, I left school and started in the industry straight away with that, and just literally worked my way from the factory upwards. So in a way, I didn't go the science route of research and development for cures for diseases, but I kind of, in a different way, I find like I'm still doing research and development in cosmetics, but I almost find like I'm working on a different kind of like a disease, like a dis-ease of the mind, because cosmetics help people so much with their self-confidence, because we want to look our best, and cosmetic products help that. So I'm almost like helping cure self-esteem in a way. So like I'm finding like it might have been a detour, but I'm still helping people really feel the best about themselves by creating amazing products that can help them to look and feel so good and amazing.
Oh, that's so beautiful. And I actually think that maybe that's even more valuable work, because you can cure many things, but if the self-esteem is not there, then a person feels like they have nothing. So if you're working on that, then that's a really, really powerful space to be working in. That's awesome.
I mean, it might be a little bit of a different way of the self-esteem, but it really is a case of, I mean, we read all these blogs, information all about how we should feel good about ourselves. But in all honesty, the reality is we are women, we are humans, and our visual appearance matters a lot to us and those around us. So, I mean, it's called a bad hair day for a reason, because if we have a bad hair day, we feel dreadful. So in that way, like sometimes just putting on the makeup or having a great hair product that makes your hair feel amazing can actually change your mood and can make you feel like, wow, I can do it. I mean, there's reason people like grab the lipstick and get into that meeting, and you feel like power or something. So I do think that it might be a little bit more like, some people might say, oh, that's very like flippant, or it's related to beauty, but it's the reality. It is how we feel. It is what we do. And certainly if you find a skincare product that actually makes your skin glow, that makes your skin feel amazing, I mean, what better feeling is that than looking in the mirror thinking, wow, my skin looks great. It's such an awesome feeling.
Yes, yes. And what is your favorite part of your job?
Oh, definitely playing with the new recipes. I love being in the lab or in the kitchen creating products. I love the actual making. And that is part what spurred me on to start my own business, was when I was working in the industry, in labs. Obviously, the thing is, the more you work at something, and I had such a passion for it, you get promoted and then you come to management positions. And I was like, as I kept getting promoted, I'm like, you're moving me out of the lab. And I was sitting in a managerial position, having to write reports. And they're like, don't worry, we'll get a lab assistant. I'm like, no, get a report assistant. I don't want to do that. I want to make the product. So I realized I definitely needed to like start my own business. So I started my own consulting business, built my own lab so that I could be the person making it. And that for me, I am a very happy lab rat. Putting on my lab coat and spending time in the lab is my happy space, and playing with different ingredients and creating the perfect recipe. I absolutely love that. That is my happy zone. So it really is my fun part of the day.
Your passion for your work really shines through. So are there other people in the business with you, or do you run it alone?
That's just me at this stage. So hoping
Okay.
to grow it. Obviously outsourcing, couriering, things like that certainly helps. And I've got a fantastic business coach I work with. I've got great mentors that I rely on, so nobody ever does things on their own. In all honesty, we all learn so much from each other, and definitely that whole community thing. But officially in the business, it's primarily just me.
That's pretty impressive, because you're cramming a whole lot of stuff into one day by the sound of things.
Yeah, and I do sometimes like to sleep.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And how do you manage your own self-care under all that pressure?
I think a lot of it, I love reading. So I'm not a big TV watcher. Every now and then I like watching a couple of series on Netflix or whatever. So I'm very aware of how I'm feeling. Towards the end of last year, I did work with a self-care coach actually to help me, because it's such a critical space to be in when you're an entrepreneur. And she really helped me a lot with being very aware of what my mental state is, and also knowing that, there's times, like, I've come to terms when it might be a Thursday afternoon, 2 o'clock, but if I'm done, I cannot type another email, I cannot do another thing. I'll be like, you know what, I'm going to switch off. I'll go sit outside, I'll play with my dogs, I'll go stroke my cats, or I'll just go, like, maybe it'll be a good idea, well, you know what, I need to do grocery shopping. I take that break and I just move away, because there's nights when I'll be plugging away till the computer late. So I've realized that to not be so hard on myself. And the self-care, like I said, so I don't do big TV watching, but I love to read. So every night I make sure I read before I go to sleep, because I escape. And just making sure I also follow a lot of the right people on Instagram, that uplift me. Like I've already said, I love dancing. I am actually also a qualified dancing teacher. I've never done anything with it, but I've finished my dancing teachers. So watching amazing videos of beautiful ballets or salsa dancing or pole dancing, any kind of dancing, I love it. And it just feeds my soul. And I do try and dance myself still. So you manage it as you can. And of course, going for occasional manis and pedis, things like that definitely helps in facials. So you got to squeeze it in as you can. And I think it's just important to be aware when you're feeling strained, to realize, you know what, I need to do something. And even if it is just something as small as literally just going outside and spending 10 minutes in the garden with the dogs, it makes a world of difference.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for that beautiful window into your life. It sounds like a lot of fun. So if anybody is looking for you online on the social networks, for your blog and all of those things, where can they find you?
So the website is thecosmeticschef.com. So everything is also on there, but then there's also the Facebook page, which is thecosmeticschef.com, as well as on Instagram, also all The Cosmetic Chef. So just Google for The Cosmetic Chef and you'll find all the things there related to it. So, and all of the pages, even if you just go onto the website, you'll be able to link back to the social pages, because there are links. There's also a YouTube channel as well, The Cosmetic Chef.
Okay, that's fantastic. Thank you for this really, really inspiring window into your world. I'm sure you're going to inspire a whole bunch of entrepreneurs out there. And thank you for your time today, Conny.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much, Melanie. It was so wonderful chatting to you. I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
It's a huge pleasure.